That's mine. I mean, that's what Bill makes sure that I leave behind. All right, it is 6 o'clock. So welcome everyone to the regular meeting of the Rutland Town Select Board. Today is Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. Please. Oh, we have Joe Denardo is not with us this evening, but we do have Kurt Hathaway, Mary Ashcroft, Matt Getty, and Sharon Russell. And I just remembered that I was supposed to start at that end this meeting, but
Doesn't
next
break,
time.
doesn't hurt my feelings.
Okay, please all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Don't sit
And
down.
if you would remain standing, please. Just a moment of silence, please, for two folks who were, we lost this past week. One is former Select Board member Chris Chioffi, who was a great addition to the board for the time she was on it, and did a lot of work. Many of us knew her as a police officer and then as a federal officer in the courts. And also the Dawn Carlson, wife of Assistant Chief Mike Carlson, died also this week. He was in earlier for a meeting. Dawn was in education locally and a very solid member of our community. We will miss both of these women. So a moment of silence, please. Thank you. All right. First item on the agenda is the approval of the Select Board minutes for May 6th. That was our regular meeting.
Move to accept.
Motion's been made to accept
Second.
and seconded. Any additions, deletions, corrections? If not, all in favor of adopting the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 4-0. You have all seen the orders for payment of our town's bills, and you've all signed. So, do we have a motion to approve the orders?
Second.
Motion's made and seconded to approve the orders. Any reservations or withholding on any items? I think we were all okay. All in favor of accepting the orders and approving them, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 4-0. Are there any board member announcements? No. Okay. Update from the Select Board Chair. Just want to thank any and all who were involved in our open house at the new McKinley Avenue Fire and Police Station. And thank you especially to the folks who were so kind as to, help get it ready, the departments, all of the work they put in. So thank you all very much. It was a wonderful success. I heard nothing but good comments. So thank you all. All right. This is the point at which we take comments from the floor for anyone who is not otherwise on the agenda. So, and oh, lots of hands going up today. Okay, well, we'll start this way. David.
Yes. Okay, two items. One, East Pittsford Road. Any chance of it getting repaved this season here?
No commissioners here.
Hmm?
Kurt?
Yeah, it's on the list.
Is it on those? Okay, where is the asphalt going to come from? Is it going to come from Canada?
The liquid asphalt, I believe, comes out of Canada.
Will that upset your budget? Or don't you know?
Our price is locked.
We put it out to bid, we're locked in.
You are locked in, so what happens?
There'll be an asphalt adjustment,
Okay, so
an asphalt price adjustment.
Yeah, there's a liquid adjustment in there, but
Yeah, so it is gonna be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, any idea when?
Not,
Okay,
well, it's for fiscal 26, so it won't be till after July 1.
okay, so, yeah, never use the other road. The other thing, Eastwood, Northwood Park. And dogs. Is there any chance of getting a place where people can let their dogs run off leash? I see more people
Apparently you
walking
don't go
dogs.
there very often, 'cause they're all off leash.
We don't want them to
I'm not
be.
going to make a comment and incriminate myself.
Okay,
No, I have been told to put it on leash and I did.
Yeah.
If I see other people or cars, why not put them on the leash?
Yeah. David, long-term plan, right now where you see the swimming pool, we know that the pool will need to be replaced in the coming probably 5 years or so. And that area the pool will go on another location, hopefully up at Northwood. And the area presently is enclosed, and long-range plan is possibly to turn that into a dog park.
But news,
So, but that's, longer range planning.
now I can have something to tell people with their dogs.
Wait a
Take your
while.
dog to the swimming pool.
Not exactly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but that's the plan long-term. Yeah, but yes, you're correct. Dogs need to be on leashes up there.
And as one other item, Killington just went to a 5-board select board. And one that was debated, people asked me, and I commented about how well your 5-member board runs. I don't know
Thank
if that
you.
influences anybody, but
Well, thanks.
you are an example.
Good. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah,
sometimes I wonder if we're really fishing or not, but
I think we do
We-
okay.
we get
Yeah,
some stuff done, I
We
guess.
do.
Sometimes.
We do.
Especially if somebody's not here.
Yeah, we were debating about who that would be. But
No,
let's
no,
not go
we-
there.
Killington ran into a problem with liquor license.
Yeah.
Because 2 of the select board had conflicts.
Hmm.
So when you have a conflict, the 5 people are very useful.
Yeah, it's good
Yeah.
to have a quorum that way.
Okay, all done?
Yep.
All right. Next, public comments. Don?
That's all.
Ugh. He beat me to the punch. I came for a couple of reasons. I came to thank the board in 2 respects. Because I was reflecting on the public safety building and it was fantastic. I wish I could have stayed longer, but with the kind of weather that we've had here this spring, I had numerous projects at home that I just had to attend to. But I wanted to thank the board. I wanted to thank this board for having given me the opportunity in a past life to chair the board when it wasn't all that certain that we could get the building. And by educating the public, as we did, we got a positive vote. But I want to thank this board for carrying that forward in some pretty challenging times with COVID and the accompanying problems that COVID brought, and inflation and rising costs and bond issues that had to be amended and so forth. This board really stood fast and worked hard and scurried around and found the means to be able to complete the project. All right, that goes for the project. But I want to go back some 50 years, pretty much, way back to my first encounters with the town and the politics of the town in recreation. And probably, other than the school having been built, the new school, the biggest single project that the town faced at the time was Northwood Park. And even though we got substantial federal and state help with that, it was a pretty sizable bond at the time for the town. You know, when I look back, it speaks so well of this town that, and it speaks well for the leadership in this town, that the people at that time approved that project and subsequent funding for that project. And from that point forward in the 70s to now, 50 years later, there has never been a recreation proposal that has been denied in this town. So the people have supported that kind of infrastructure. Then we come to the fire department and the buildings, what do I want to say? Well, naturally deteriorating buildings that had to be replaced. And again, through education of the public, those bonds were approved, and the town has never defeated a bond for our fire department or our police department or a budget for either one of those. Now, not only does that speak well for our townspeople, but it speaks well that the town recognizes that it has great leadership in this town, including this board. And I want to give you the credit for that. Interesting, you beat me to the punch, because you're right. We don't always get things right. We don't always agree. But this board and the previous board and the boards that I served on showed the leadership that this town always responded to. And when you look at the demographics of the region and you see, for instance, if you know, like I know from a close acquaintance in the Lister's office, there aren't any homes available in Rutland town. There are very few, if any, homes for sale in Rutland town. The reason being that they go in a heartbeat. And they go because people want to be here. And why they want to be here? Because you have the shining examples, such as that public safety building, which show not only that we can build a $6 million building when it only was supposed to cost $3 million in an inflationary cycle. That's only money. But it shows that the people appreciate those that serve them in those buildings. And that the town leadership appreciates those that protect our people and serve our people and give them a building that they rightly deserve. It's a matter of great pride that this community cares not just about how it looks, but how it treats its employees and how it treats its public servants that are there to serve that public. And I want to thank you guys for what you did. It's a beautiful building, and it spares no expense, and rightly so, when it comes to what those folks do. And I've always valued my service in the fire department. I wish I could have continued, but I couldn't. There are too many requirements, and those people that are there really deserve our thanks and our support. And I'd also like to thank you, Mary, for your kind remarks. I heard it secondhand.
Yeah, you should have stayed.
No, but that's
I said
all
good
right.
things about you, Don.
You guys deserve the credit because you carried that thing through. And it wasn't easy. And, you know, and I've heard the criticism around town about the money. And I said, well, how did that negatively affect your taxes? You see them going up like by hundreds and hundreds of dollars? No, you don't, because this town is solid. And you'll hear later on how much more solid it is in another report. But thank you, and thanks for bearing with me, and I appreciate your comments about our board too. They're true. Thanks.
Thank you, Don. All right. Yes, sir. Come on up.
I'm not reading all of this. This is just for me to refer to.
Yeah, we wouldn't let you read it all.
Reading, honorable members of the select board, public. My name is Peter G. Franzoni. I'm a Rutland City citizen. And as I'm not one of your constituents, I humbly thank you for allowing me the opportunity to address you. Though I'm not a citizen of Rutland Town, my father was a land surveyor for 44 years. I surveyed under him for 26 and on my own for another 17 with various other companies. That vault was filled with dozens upon dozens of our survey plats, a few hundred, maybe even a few thousand pages of our record descriptions and reports. I've had family that lives in this town. I've been in and out of this town my whole life. This town is part of my home. It's part of my community. I'm here to talk about the resolution against condemning the attacks of due process and affirming our constitutional rights that was recently passed in Rutland City. And I submitted it to the board, humbly hoping that you would pass the same resolution here. So far now, there's 10 municipalities that have passed it in the original language, including Brandon and Wallingford. I expect to be speaking at Proctor next week, Middletown Springs tomorrow night, and Thursday, I forget where I'm going, West Rutland. I'm a U.S. Army veteran. I'm not a combat veteran. It's important you know that about me. I don't carry the honor of that distinction. More importantly, that I don't carry that horrible weight that distinction bestows. Known a lot of combat veterans. Most of the people that trained me were combat veterans. And by far, I've come to know more of them as a veteran myself, been of service to them and of friendship to them since. Probably the highest honor I hold myself is the respect and trust I have built with these soldiers. Particularly the times that I've built enough respect and trust with those that do hold that horrible distinction, or they've shared some experiences as such with me. Sometimes things they don't even discuss with their own family members. It's a level of confidence that I don't have the words to describe. It's humbling. Aside from a few things that are probably too personal to discuss here, it's what is most sacred to me. You'd have to torture me, probably even kill me to drag the contents of those conversations out of me. But there are some things I can talk about that they would want me to talk about, and I am honor bound to talk about, and even oath forsworn to talk about. The first would be our oath of enlistment. Our oath of enlistment, the first part of our oath of enlistment is to support and defend the Constitution. Follow the orders of our President of the United States, and thereafter the orders of the officers appointed above us according to the rules and regulations of Uniform Code of Military Justice. There's a reason that support and defend the Constitution is first. Primacy is obvious. It's our most supreme order, above any orders that we can be given by the president or any of the officers above us. More than the safety of our president, more than the safety of the officers above us, the public at large, our communities, our loved ones, or even our fellow soldiers. Our first command is to support and defend that Constitution. The reason for that primacy is obvious. Without the Constitution, there is no United States. The United States does not exist without the Constitution. The Constitution isn't just the law, it's the basis of law. All of our federal, local, state laws are based upon the Constitution. There are no laws of the land that have supremacy over our Constitution. You chip away at one piece of it, it crumbles. As powerful as the Constitution is and the rights that are enshrined within it, without those that are willing to support and defend it, it is powerless. Our president, my commander-in-chief, has made many statements over these last 100 plus days that challenge the integrity of our Constitution.
It is not within his purveyance or authority. Interpretation of the Constitution is the sole responsibility of the judiciary and the judiciary alone. I've been asked why I've been bringing this to local levels, and that is not the authority of the local sandbox. It shouldn't be brought to the towns. This is something that should only be handled at a federal and state level. You know, being a soldier, I followed my chain of command. When my president made those statements, he violated his own oath that he has now taken twice to protect, preserve, and support our Constitution. I tried to convey my concerns to him, and he did not hear me. I conveyed my concerns to our senators and representatives of the federal government. They in turn conveyed the concerns to the president. He did not hear them. I conveyed my concerns to my governor and my state representatives and also was not heard. But I went to my local alderman and I finally was heard. What I'm doing is very similar to what the public laws did before the Civil War. Before the Civil War broke out, the southern states were deputizing posses basically as marshals and sending them into the northern states to recapture escaped slaves and just Black people in general. The northern states petitioned our federal government to make them stop and they were unheard. So they started passing laws in their local communities. Vermont was one of the first, town by town, city by city. They went and they passed the public laws to prevent these things from happening. And this is basically what I'm attempting to do here. I've been accused of acting in perfidy and that I'm acting with partisanship. To that I'll answer, we're being played. Anybody that wants to come to me and say that immigration is running rampant and we have basically an open border policy all over this country, you'll get no argument from me. I 100% agree. Immigration is out of control right now. It's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. Let alone for gang members and immigrants, but what about foreign agents? People that are coming here with a willing idea to hurt our country. I'm also old enough to remember when immigration wasn't a problem or a concern. When it was huge and bureaucratic and boring, but it was safe and effective for everyone involved, American citizens and immigrants alike. And decade after decade, I've watched support and funding get chipped away and it gets attacked by every side. I've had many liberal-minded folks come to me and say, oh, it's only the Republicans that have been chipping away. And that's just not true. The Clinton administration was one of the largest decimations to our immigration policies. Millions of dollars cut from funding during that administration. And although he's not doing the same as right now, where he's trying to alleviate due process and habeas corpus, it more or less amounted to the same thing. They were rubber stamping 200-300 immigrants at a time through the court system. Biden did the same thing. I'm disgusted by all of it. But I'm not here to argue that. Right now, we're being petitioned by our federal government to say, we need to pause constitutional rights to fix this problem. I'm sorry. Excuse my vulgarity, but you will not piss on my Constitution and tell me it's raining. You will find another way to fix these problems. We've done it before, we can do it again. Right now, the federal government is holding to the fact that anyone that they deem illegal should not be allowed due process. By that reasoning, that means any law enforcement official could come up and slap a pair of cuffs on me, say, you're an illegal immigrant, detain me and arrest me without reading me my Miranda rights, without letting me call a lawyer. I can't even call home to say, honey, bring me my birth certificate to prove that I'm here. Furthermore, they're rendering people from the jurisdiction of the United States. For all of you that may need a basic civics course done again, if you're removed from the jurisdiction of the United States, the Constitution cannot protect you. As soon as you're outside the jurisdiction of the United States, there's nothing we can do for you. There's a term for that. It's not deported, it's called rendered. You've been rendered from the jurisdiction of the United States. When you're taken out of the jurisdiction of the United States without due process, that's exactly what happens to you. You're rendered from our protection.
Mr. Franzoni?
My time's up.
Kind of.
It's okay.
But let me first thank you for your research. It's obviously important to you and you've done a lot. Secondly, we did receive what you sent us, which is a copy of the Rutland City Resolution. We need to put it into our own, language.
Yes.
Right. Which we haven't done yet. You may have heard we had a few other projects going on here over the weekend.
Quite busy, yes.
However, at least 2 people sitting on this board have taken oaths to uphold the Constitution of the state of Vermont and the U.S. Constitution. And I just took it again a couple of weeks ago. So we're very well aware of which you speak. And there's another person in the room as well who has taken an oath as an attorney. So Two other people. So there's 4 people in the room who have taken the attorney's oath to uphold the Constitution. We're not going to vote on anything tonight, because we don't have the template in front of us that we need to put in our own language referring to Rutland Town. And secondly, we're missing a member, and it's our usual practice when we do something like this. We make sure there's a full board to consider it.
Sure, sure.
So thank you for your comments. We appreciate, thank you for circulating this among the towns and for the work you're doing on it. I, for one, think it's important.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. Who else might wish to talk to the select board? Mr. Gregg?
Okay. Just giving everyone else a chance.
No.
Figured when it was my time, you.
Okay,
Let's
we
see.
have received, you told us it was coming. We have received the Act 250 amended application for a demolition permit along the lines of what you have. It's extensive. I had Bill run off a hard copy so that we could take a look at it. We're not going to take action tonight because frankly, we got it in the middle of last week and I haven't read it. I was kind of doing other things. But we do have our municipal reaction questionnaires ready to go. And we met with the fire committee and I asked to make sure that they had reviewed it and they could fill out their portion, and all the police departments here, the highway departments here. Please do take the time to go over the Act 250 application for the demolition of a portion of the mall buildings and the reclamation of the green area. So, and let me know if there are any, or let us know if there are any impacts that you see on your departments. It's going to take a while to do, so put some time aside to do that. So that's my summary. Mr. Gregg?
Well, I guess I was a little taken aback when you said the extensive application, because if the demolition is extensive, I'm gonna be really worried when we bring you the Walmart application in the fall. I actually thought it was an application that has what it needs from the Department of Environmental Conservation, but it is just for the demolition. We were here on April 22nd. We said we'd file within 30, we filed
You
within
did.
30. What we told you on April 22nd is what we filed for. Fundamentally, it's an application which reduces the amount of impervious surface to come into compliance with what's called the 3-acre stormwater rule. And that's a rule which requires holders of property with a certain amount of impervious surface under the 3-acre rules and definitions to obtain stormwater coverage. And so it's for the benefit of the discharge to the Otter Creek. And as Craig Jewett from MSK Engineering explained on April 22nd, what we're doing with this application and how we're achieving compliance is regardless of the Walmart application, which certainly we hope will be filed sometime in the fall, but it's all subject to a number of variables. So I'm just here to give you that update, see if there are any questions. We are available to any of the department heads who, if they have any questions, or the town administrator. And I see your next meeting is June 3rd. And to the extent that you have questions of us or want us to answer anything, that's what we want to do, because the town of Rutland is the most important party in this proceeding and will come in the future. Your role as the statutory party is vital. And the progress that's made through the Act 250 process really depends upon, in part, the select board. So that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, which is kind of why I want to read what you
Really
submitted.
understand. We certainly want you to read it.
Yeah.
There is a demolition plan It's been approved by the Department of Environmental Conservation. There is a waste reduction law and protocol which is complied with. There's the stormwater discharge permits, the construction general permits, and we paid our $11,800 fee. So if you wonder what it costs to demolish a building for the
Yeah.
Act 250 program, it costs you $11,800.
Yep. We'll,
Thank
yeah,
you.
go ahead.
What's the timing? What's the timing for next steps here? Is it just their department heads need to complete the forms you referenced, or?
There's the municipal impact questionnaire, which I've asked and continue to ask department heads, do take a look at the application, see if your department is impacted. And if the impact is a positive one, or if you have some questions, reach out. Attorney Grake is willing to answer them, but we want to be sure.
I mean, the obvious one is that we know what issues the mall has had. And
Yes.
the demand on your municipal services. We're trying to demolish the mall.
Well, not
So-
all, because you're leaving
Well,
up the
except for
Kmart.
Kmart
Yeah.
box, but by and large.
Yeah.
There's going to be a substantial
Yeah.
reduction, and so it would seem that would bode well for future management of the property.
Yes, thank you. And thanks for coming in. Timeline is, we can probably, if people think they're going to have a chance to review this and department heads by our meeting 2 weeks from now, we can put it on the agenda to vote on then.
If you put it on the agenda, I will be here.
I suspect you might be. Yeah.
So we can all get that by email?
Bill can,
It's we sent it.
yes, Bill will send around the packet by email. I've got the one hard copy he's made. If you want a hard copy, I'll leave this behind and Bill can make a couple.
And just so you know, because you are always a statutory party,
Mhm.
and I encourage you to learn this, there's what's called the Act 250 database.
Mhm.
You can access everything that Mary has printed off, everything that you're gonna get in the mail. You can access all Act 250 applications and most permits. They're slowly being added to the Act 250 database. You go onto that Act 250 database. You can search with a search tool, and everything that you're gonna get sent as an email has already been loaded up onto that site. It's a really good resource. There's also the Agency of Natural Resources and any questions you have about this property, its permitting history, the Department of Environmental Conservation permits that have been issued. They're all up on the A&R database as well as the Act 250 database. It's a really good resource.
It is, it is. People have asked about the mall and is it really going to happen this time? And my response has been, they've put together the right team to do it this time. And you, the engineer, and the fact that we actually saw not only the applicant, but the co-applicant with the Walmart folks in for the construction portion. It all tells me it's going forward, so.
The demolition has to go forward.
Yeah.
And it's regardless of the future. And that's really important. That's a message we've tried to communicate. And again, all I can continue to say is the town has a unique role. You really do.
Mhm.
And when you hear that phrase statutory party, you're the statutory party that we want to provide all the information and be responsive to your concerns.
Have you also talked with our planning commission?
Going there next.
Great, okay. All right. Any questions at this point for Mr. Greg? Okay,
Well, as entertaining and informative as it has been, I'm going to take my leave and I will check on the agenda. And if there are any questions, be more than happy to answer them. Thank you.
okay, thank you,
Thank
David. All right, anyone else either on,
Excuse me. Thank you.
you're welcome. Either in, oh, I'm sure it was something we said.
Thank you again.
So
You're
things you're
welcome.
gonna say that they're gonna get to miss.
And there's no one on the Zoom call, so we'll move into our agenda for the evening. Micro Town Rec Director is not.
But I have some.
Yes, an update. Sharon.
Yes.
Well, let me put my glasses on so I can see. Dewey Field, all of the telephone poles are gone. I had to go over and check for Mike. Mike had to be in Manchester tonight. I think he may be coaching a team down there for one of the coaches. The pool is ready to be filled. It'll be filled before Friday and turned on Friday. Allen sand filters come back today. They're all set to go. Oh, our issue with lifeguards and training has been taken care of.
For this year?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. I don't exactly know. I know they hired somebody to do it,
Good.
and it was somebody local that had kept their certification up, so they were willing and met the need that we had, so that was
Good, good.
taken care of. Yeah, the sand filters came in today. And he started to fill it, so he's proposing that Friday the pool will be turned on. And that's about all he had to say.
Okay. Thank you. Those were the big light poles and they're all down.
They're
And
all down.
safe now. So thank you very much.
The
Oh.
only thing that was left is 2 stumps, and those were the last 2 poles taken down, so I'm assuming they're gonna go over and grind them down.
I think they're gonna pull them out.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I think they'll be over to pull them out.
So
Alrighty. Very good. Next up, thank you, Sharon. Next up, Dave Sears, Town Road Commissioner.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I don't really have a whole lot tonight. Short, sweet, and to the point.
We spent most of the last couple of weeks working on the shared use path.
Thank you.
So we have probably 95% of it right now roughed in with base gravel. We got a little small portion of a fill that we did last year, basically from, if you wanted to, you could actually access the entire route from the park to Chestana Drive now. We still got to put the top stuff on it and dress it all up and make it all pretty, but the path is there. And actually we were filling it, and some people came walking down and they were coming up with a loader and they're like, oh, we'll just go this way. And away they went, and I'm like, the inaugural walk has happened.
Hey.
Today for today and tomorrow, we have A1 rented, and we're cleaning catch basins. We started up on, the Windmere, up on Penick, cleaning those today. Those haven't been cleaned probably since they were put in. So that was most of the day spent there, but, beyond doing post road and trying to get some of the MS4 stuff cleaned up before they do our inspections on that. And then my other thing was the Dewey Field thing. So if anybody's looking for telephone pole chunks, we have a plethora.
How big are the chunks?
Depends. There's some smaller pieces. There's those big ones, the stumps you were talking about, those are probably
Ooh.
18 inches, 2 feet across. Those are big. They don't grow trees that big anymore for telephone poles. Those are giant.
Yeah.
And those are 10 to 12 foot. They cut them. Then there's some other ones that are just regular poles. You know, they're probably 10, 12 inches across, and there's a couple of them that are 20 plus feet long. So if anybody's looking to build a pole barn, please.
So are they at Dewey now, or are
No,
they?
they're
moved them
Dewey,
up
it's basically cleaned up. They're all up
Okay.
by the poles are up to the left of the brush pile
Okay,
at the transfer station.
right.
And then we basically broke everything down into a light component. So like all of the light fixtures themselves were all aluminum. the housings, the brackets, everything, that all went in a truck and went to Hubbard's, and we got a truckload of aluminum. It was worth $34.
Oh,
Maybe paid for the fuel to do that.
Yeah.
And then we took a bunch of, they had a lot of 3-inch galvanized conduit. We took that up, and that was like 42 or 45 or something like that. So we scrapped what we could, and the poles are there, and it's pretty much all cleaned up. And there's some, I'm not sure what the bulbs are, but the bulbs are ginormous.
oh,
Bulbs are probably 8 inches across and 14 inches tall.
wow.
They're huge.
Yeah.
So,
Huh.
Mr. Delvenary said he will dispose of those properly.
Okay.
And that's where I am. That's what we got.
The highway committee did have a meeting a week ago. We got anything we
did.
should go over?
We didn't really discuss, we had the committee meeting to discuss the water line for
Yeah.
the bank there on Core River Road. And we essentially, we want to look into it, but you know, it's gonna probably take a year or 2 years before we get everything into motion to be able to put something out to bid. So it's a long-term project that we're gonna be looking into. It'll definitely help loop, because the line that comes up the Keyhond, I guess now, is dead-ended. And then the line that comes across to Adele Stanley from the city through that back street is dead-ended as well. So if we can get those, they'll be looped, which is the preferred way, is to have those water lines looped anyway. And it'll help tie all those on. Did you end up figuring out where the Sunoco station?
They said that they would get on if it wasn't some exorbitant price, but
Yeah.
they did say that they would,
Okay.
they're interested. And I know it was a bank, then it was a tobacco shop, and now it's the dispensary. It's closed. But when they were trying to open the dispensary, I know that they were interested in getting on municipal water. But the only way they could do it was to bore Route 7 and hook up to the 16 on the other side of the street.
Okay.
And no,
Yeah.
but so if I'm not sure what somebody owns that and somebody's rent, whatever, but there was interest at one time in them hooking up, so they probably would too. The guy that owns the building on the corner that burned, he owns that and the bank, Green Mountain Credit Union, and he would put both of those on. So that would pretty much take care of that site, and we could drop a hydrant or two in there and put substantial amount of fire on that side.
Yep.
Good.
The nice part about having hydrants on the both sides of Route 7 is you don't necessarily have to close the road.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, we had the fire down there, we had to close the road for the entire time we were there because we were bringing water across from the hydrant on the other side of the road. Or initially you want to close the road so you don't have to deal with the headache, but if you were able to have hydrants on that side, you could break down, move over.
You could
get
at least have
traffic-
one lane each direction.
Get traffic moving while you
Right.
clean things up and whatnot. So something to look into. And then we're moving in a forward direction with the sewer line project down there. So we're working on a permit package for V-Trans.
Robert Clark called me yesterday. He was really hoping to have the bid package and the permit package to us before the meeting, and we did not get it, but it is going to be ready any minute.
Perfect.
Good.
I like to hear. And then we were discussing the Green Mountain Plaza traffic study, which didn't come back in our favor. So we kind of wanted to maybe talk to the planning commission as to why it didn't come back in our favor. Because we really think that having 2 left turn lanes would benefit the plaza astronomically, but we're wondering why this traffic study doesn't say that.
2 lanes exiting?
2 left turn lanes coming out of the plaza.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
The traffic study says there's not enough traffic to justify that.
Well, obviously they haven't driven down through there.
Well, that's what we say. You never showed up. That's why we're trying to figure out when they did this study, because you go down there on Sunday and man, that place
Yeah.
is a zoo. So if they were doing it, on a Tuesday at noon, noon to 3 on Tuesday, then maybe.
But not even then, they're not even then, Kurt, because, I mean, my husband and I were going down through and I said, It's like the fair is here."
Oh, it's always
That, it's like back in the day when the fair, you'd be lined up Gouger Hill, so.
It's August is about the peak travel time, and it's the 30th highest hour is what they designed for, from my recollection of the old days. And it, the line coming out, there's already 2 lanes for those 2 lines coming out if we got them. So it's no skin off the nose of the state.
the only thing
gotta
the
hang a
state
light.
would be out is they have to hang one more traffic light.
Oh, Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and get rid of the island, which we would
could do that.
figure out.
Sure.
We
Either
got
us
half
or
of it.
yeah,
it'd either be between us or
yeah.
the owner of the plaza, because they're for it.
They are pretty
That's
much-
V-Trans, that's not V-Trans problem, get rid of the island.
Yeah,
The only thing they have to do is add the light. Which doesn't seem, I mean,
Not
there's
really.
obviously a cost to that, but
yeah.
it's some
Okay.
wiring.
Alrighty. So, thank you. No action required on it. Will we need to approve the bid package, or is that just a,
Yeah, we'll probably have to have another
Okay.
committee meeting and look over that, and
okay,
that'll end up coming back here.
okay, so maybe we should aim for that. Or it's for South End Sewer. Okay, I'm adding, so we'll have a real short meeting tonight and then tons of stuff 2 weeks from now.
It's fine. I got-
This one's gonna be short.
It needs to be. I got work to do after this.
Okay, anything else for our town road commissioner? If not, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Take
You
care.
too. Ed Dumas, town police chief. Oh, yeah. We have got a police committee meeting set, but it isn't until
What's that?
police committee meeting next week.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So start off with the highlights. Last Friday, I think it was, had a complaint for a suicidal subject who cut themselves in Hannaford's parking lot. So myself and other Officer Dumas and Officer Blackus, 2 of us were at the station. 1 was out patrolling around, left there to go down to assist this person who was having an emotional moment, I guess you could say. And at the intersection of Coal River Road and Route 7, there's a red light there. Officer Dumas had his blue lights on, his siren on, wasn't driving erratic or fast, came to almost a full stop, slowly started on the lane. There was 2 trucks in the curb lane. He did not see the woman coming in the center lane, and she did not see him coming that way, and she ran in the front of the truck and put a dent in it, so to say the least. State police were called to investigate it. They did a press release. That's about it at this point in time. Also, we
First,
checked.
injuries, were there any?
She left in an ambulance. Elderly woman didn't have her seatbelt on, so she had some impact with her steering wheel and the airbag. I didn't hear anything more after that.
Okay,
I haven't reached out.
okay.
And the other thing is, VSP immediately put an article in the paper. Also, I checked with Bill, Vermont Leagues and Cities and Towns. A woman who does the estimates has been out, and she's back, but she has 3 things she's having to work on.
But we've notified our carrier.
Yes, I mean, I did it that day.
Okay,
I got this bill, he gave me the website, and I filled out all the proper paperwork and filled it out as best I could, so they would know that we're there.
vehicle damage, is the truck out of commission?
Until we get someone to look at it, we're not gonna drive it. It looks like
Looks like
it
it.
goes down the road straight, but it's got a kind of a bent up fender. We do have side lights on it, flashing blue lights, so And they were put on there for that purpose, coming to intersections so that the people would be able to see us. And he had sirens going, everything we were supposed to do, he did it. Actions happen. Anyway,
And he's okay.
yes, he's fine. Yes.
Did see a news source picked it up, wrote an article on it, then put a Rutland City Cruiser for the
That was
picture.
nice.
I'm like, yes, perfect.
We had one-
Perfect.
Here.
we had another injury. It was nothing had too serious. We had to file a first report injury on training accident with a canine. So not the canine, the officer. He didn't lose any time, but we just did what we have to do.
You work with dogs long enough and
Yeah, you're gonna get
teeth
Lose-
get involved.
lose body parts.
right. So I think
Just minor
that's-
flesh damage.
Just a flesh wound.
Just flesh wound.
Just a nibble.
Is that why Rooster got a
Wasn't
art
Rooster.
collar?
Wasn't Rooster.
Oh, it wasn't Rooster. Oh, okay. All right.
was
So he's
another-
off the hook. No demotion.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
The Saturday went well, I thought too.
Yes.
A lot of questions, a lot of comments. Some.
We have a
complaints.
good picture of this little boy was eating a chocolate coated donut. And
Really?
he had it all over his face. So I got Dell to take a picture of it
Oh, really?
because it was so cute.
Might have been related to me, maybe.
Oh, I don't know. Might have been.
Possibly.
He was a cute little bugger and
Takes after his mother.
Oh, I can confirm the cops had plenty of leftover donuts.
Oh, here we
in the
go, yeah.
I'm
refrigerator.
relieved.
Right
Yes.
right next to the coffee machine. I saw Ed come running in with them, stash them away.
I took good care of them. Mary and I made sure they had
Bundling
donuts.
up in half dozen packages and handing them out.
So our cops did not go without donuts this week.
Which we appreciate. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for your work
Share
on
meeting
that.
with
That's
fire
good.
department.
Yes, they were
Okay.
in the fire department.
Yeah. Firefighters don't eat donuts.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I beg to differ. Can I have more than one? Sure.
All right. Any questions for our police department? As I said, we do have a meeting coming up next week. So,
As far as the Act 250, I looked over that. The only, I think he's right. It's going to be a benefit to us. Maybe just what are they going to have for barricades for to stop vehicles going up there
okay.
and to properly seal the whatever buildings they leave there so that people can't go in.
Okay.
That'd be the only two concerns I have.
All right. And you'll have a chance to make those comments, I think.
I
as-
will.
If there's not a space on the questionnaire, you can do an addendum. Just make sure. And what I would be looking for too is that the obligation to patrol and police the area is not borne by us. It's borne by the old condition, and the permit remains. I want to
I
make
was going
sure
to ask
that's
you about
there.
that.
Hmm?
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, I want to make sure it's still there. But I don't know. I haven't read the thing yet. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Anything? No? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Marcia Chioffi, head lister.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi, Marcia.
I think the main item for us tonight is the extension letter. We are hoping not to have to use the extension, but just to be cautious, we are going to send it to PVNR so that Jill Remick will approve it. We're pretty close. We've still got a couple of site visits that have to be done. And hopefully those will, I think those are going to be finished up this week. We've had,
Okay, this is item number 1 in your packet. It is the grand list extension request.
correct,
It is directed to property valuation and review, and it is to be requested or to be signed by the select board or the chairman of the select board. So is there a motion?
Move to approve and authorize Mary to sign it.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Discussion or Marcia, anything more we should know about this before we vote on it?
No, not really. Just that, like I said, we're hoping not to, not to use an extension for the 30 days, maybe, 4 or 5 days beyond that June 4th deadline, but that would be it.
Okay.
So,
Any further discussion from the board? If not, all in favor of approving the grand list extension request with me to sign, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 4-0. Okay.
okay. We are working away at business personal property. As you know, this is our first year doing it, and Kathy has been absolutely amazing at inputting the information. We have a stack of the larger companies like Home Depot, Staples, Hannaford's. I mean, these are 30, 40 pages of equipment that we have to, match up with what we have in our system with what they have declared. So it's taking us a little bit of time, not ever having done it before, but we're working through it. Right now, it looks like business personal property is going to see a significant increase. One of them, of course, being GE. Hopefully, we've looked at the numbers, and we will definitely go over those numbers once again to make sure that we've captured everything that they're declaring. Let me see, it was something. No, other than that, we're proceeding and hope to get the grand list lodged mid-June with grievance hearings towards the end of June, so that we can set the tax rate earlier this year.
Okay. Any questions for Marcia?
Oh, one more thing, Mary.
Yep.
The bids on the reappraisal are due this Thursday, May 22nd. So hopefully I haven't received any phone calls regarding any of the documents that we have sent. So I'm hoping that what we've sent to all of the approved appraisal firms, that we covered every area that needed to be covered, and they're comfortable with, proceeding with giving us a bid.
Yeah. How many were there that you asked for bids from?
Like 15 that are the state approved appraisal firms.
Okay, good.
Yep.
All right. So we'll wait until next meeting and find out where we are with those.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
we're still being told that, 2030 is the earliest date. So,
Yeah.
anyway, but we'll see.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Marcia. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Yep.
Marcia.
Have a good evening.
You too. Okay. Chris Clark, Town Fire Chief.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Like Mary and Ed said, I think the open house went very well. Thank everybody for coming. Heard all compliments. I did get one complaint, and I talked to Mary about it, about our missing flagpole. I told the individual it would be put up as soon as it could. We do have plans on getting one. With that being said, I was thinking about it, and I was hoping to get my members to agree, which we'll find out at our June meeting, but would it be okay if the fire department out of their own fund donates the flagpole for Kurt to put up, like he volunteered to do? So we can get like one in center Rutland.
Kurt's indicating yes.
Yeah, it's
so,
fine with me.
Yeah.
Perfect. You'll put it up still?
Yep,
All righty.
sure will.
I will keep you
Great.
posted
Thank you
on
both.
that.
Okay.
Nothing else except for our meeting tonight that Kurt was going to talk about.
Yeah. Kurt.
Yeah,
So
I
I
got-
think I'm up to 4 things.
I
but-
got delegated to talk about it. Yeah. Let's see. Well, might as well start by spending money, right?
That's what you usually say.
Yeah. So, the fire department's looking at a new brush fire skid.
A what?
They call it a brush fire skid. So it's a water tank with a pump and hose reel that goes in the back of the pickup, turns the pickup truck into a brush truck. The one the department has right now is, I don't know, probably 20 years old at least. And it fits in a Ford Ranger, which is the Ford Ranger that Mike has. So it doesn't carry enough water and it doesn't really fit in a full-size pickup like they have now. It's, this big and slides around the back. So they got a price on a new skid. It's 40 weeks out. So kind of wanted to get this on order now, so hopefully it'll be here for next year's brush fire season. It's $12,415, and that money would come out of the depreciation account of the fire department. So that's set to replace equipment.
Which the depreciation account has 685,000 in it so far. So
Can that old one be sold to a department that still needs one for a small truck, or is that just get junked, or was that?
There might be a department maybe that wants to, put together a brush truck that might go out and it's custom built for a Ford Ranger. So there might be a department out there that might actually go out and find a Ford Ranger to take it, but that'll be something that's gonna have to get figured out in the
Changed in 20 years too. So.
Yeah, and
I make the motion that we buy the piece of equipment. And, it's a safety issue too. It's quicker to stop a fire, I'm assuming, than just your hoses.
it allows the pickup can get places the engines can't.
Okay,
So if you have a fire in a field, you can get the pickup out to the backside of the field and
okay.
Second that.
motion's made and seconded to approve the purchase of it's 150 gallon container of water, hose, and pump to fight brush fires. I've heard stories about a certain farmer down on Creek Road who had a fire get away from him, and there was a need for just such piece of equipment. So, any further discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
I
Aye. Motion carries 4-0, and that money will come out of the Fire Equipment Depreciation Fund.
Okay, so the next thing to spend money on.
We're on a roll.
We gotta hear them all first before we start voting.
So when the department upgraded air packs, MSA changed from one style of pack to a new style. So they had to change all the air bottles, all the air packs. Air bottles are only good for 15 years, if I remember right, Chris.
Yes.
So they're to not have to buy 52 bottles in a lump sum again. The fire department wants to start buying 5 bottles at a time. That would again come out of depreciation account for this year, and the bottles, 5 bottles is $7,014. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Just generally speaking, depreciation funds and plans for future needs, you got them all covered? Are we good?
We did ask, I think the next large piece of equipment would be a fire truck, and that's several years out.
About 10 years down the road.
Yeah, so
I move that we purchase the bottles because it looks like we're gonna have to have them. And the better way to do it is in smaller increments, so it doesn't,
Yeah,
pardon the pun, but burn
yeah,
through too easy.
yeah, they're $1,400 a piece,
God.
which is kind of disgusting, but whatever.
So
That's
motion's made. Is there a second?
A second.
Motion's made and seconded for the purchase of 5 air pack bottles. Total cost of $7,014 from the Fire Depreciation Fund. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 4-0. Okay.
And then the other thing we were discussing was the budget and what we would have for carryover funds. Looks like we're probably gonna have about $32,000 in a surplus to carry over. And we just wanted to start putting the bug in the ear to move towards a cascade system, which is $87,000. But we have 13,500 raised in funds from fundraiser. So we'll have pretty close to half of the cascade funded with the carryover.
So whether the rules in your carryover,
That's gonna get swept to the
Oh.
capital improvement. So
we could throw it out of there later.
yeah, so you
Yes,
can either
yeah.
earmark it or you just pull it out of capital improvement afterwards, which is
We need an update on the bid for the cascade system, so we don't have a proposal tonight because we need that upgraded, but we should next week. And we wanted you thinking about, is it okay to dedicate any excess funds toward this cascade system rather than letting it be swept into the capital account? Frankly, it's, one or the other. It's probably not much different.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
We just have to decide if we're gonna decide
yeah,
an hour later.
yeah, it's coming from the same place.
Yeah. So
That's just
is anyone opposed to the idea?
That decision would be made in context of what our capital improvement fund ends up being
Well,
and what else
yes,
we have on the table.
yes, okay.
it looks like, well, we can kind of
We gotta
butt
start-
into
we have an
Karen's
inkling
report a
about
little bit. Well, it looks like we're gonna have 290,000 in excess options money.
Yeah. we
Doesn't
just
necessarily,
got the last quarter in, so we're in good shape. We
I'm
have,
not sure where we're gonna be at in our other budgets quite yet, but
and yeah,
we're gonna be putting some money into the capital improvement.
Which we need because we don't have much left.
No,
yeah, right.
and the Cascade's the last big purchase to get done, and
Yeah.
hopefully we can
Probably.
spend some money after that.
Probably better ask all the department heads what else
Yes.
they had in mind that we forgot what's coming up.
Yeah.
Try to make a plan.
Yeah, so anyone, department committees, just check in with that. I mean, we did this with fire. We just sat down and asked, you're spending over on this. Is this the last expenditure you're spending under? And how much more? So do that with your departments. You'll get kind of an idea of what might be left over and what they have in mind, because some do some last minute purchases, and it would be good to know in advance.
Oh, and then there was
Yep.
one last thing, I guess.
Well, actually, I can think of 2 more, but
Is
you
there
go.
2?
Yeah.
Oh.
You two are going in timeout.
Yeah.
Not
did
for
this-
this, but for many, many other
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
So the right now the department's capped out at 10 out of town members, which considers Rutland City and Mendon. Chris has been getting a good amount of applications from city residents that want to join the department, and very slim pickings from, town residents. So he wants to move, in the fire department membership as a whole voted from 10 to 15 out of town members. It's not ideal, but we need members, so obviously it'd be great if we could have a department of 50 town residents, but
Right.
that's not the way things are swinging right now. So they would like to move 10 to 15 members, which has to get voted on by
I
the
make
board.
the motion that we let them move from 10 to 15 out of town firemen.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to increase the number of firefighters on the town volunteer department from 10 to 15. Any just further discussion? I asked Kurt because he's in Clarendon Fire Department, how they do it, and they do it with a percentage, which I think would be harder to track.
Yeah, it's a percentage of the total number of members on the roster at that time. So it can kind of swing back and forth. But
Members have we got right now?
what's that?
How many do
Any
we have right
members?
now?
So right now we have 28 or 30 members in the Clarendon department. We allow 8 out of town in
Town.
the town residents.
Total do we have?
Chris, what's your total roster right now?
We have 31 on the roster.
But
Okay.
they don't all show for the fires.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
you always have a roster and then you have more active members than
Right.
some others.
So motion's been made to increase the out-of-town complement from 10 to 15. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 4-0.
There you go, Chris.
Thank
Um,
you.
Yeah, did we have a new firefighter to approve, or was that?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we do. The application I handed to Sharon when I was leaving, I forgot to leave it on the desk for you, but
I handed it to Mary.
All right, somewhere in my stack.
16-year-old town resident. His name's Earl. We met him last Wednesday. He came up. Seems like,
Here he is.
and Ed did the background check today, so I think we should be good with your approval.
Okay, so this is Earl Saunders, and he is applying to be a junior firefighter from age 16 to 18. He is up on Post Road. And this is an interesting application. Anyway, motion's made, seconded?
Yep.
Would you second? Any further discussion? And do we all get to sign, or?
Yes, you all sign it, please.
Okay, down the bottom. All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 4-0.
And I think that was it. Unless I forgot something.
You'll be quiet over there.
He's doing real well.
I want it to be it. Is there anything else, Chris, I missed?
I believe that's it.
That covers it,
Perfect.
yeah. Of 2025, okay, coming your way. Anything else for our fire chief? Thanks again for the very good turnout of firefighters who are at the open house, and for the nifty display table with all of the goodies for kids to take home. The helmets, as usual, were a big hit.
And the picture books were
Oh,
outstanding.
those were great. Yeah.
I even found my 18-year-old grandson in there when he was 4.
Oh,
Really?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah,
Right.
it was, I think it was celebrating the town, and so they had a thing up by the chapel and the fire trucks. The fireman let him hold the hose.
oh,
Oh my God, he was giggling, and you could see on his face.
okay. Anything further for Chris? If not, thank you very much, Chief. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Oh, by the way, one of the reasons we met with, and this will be a time-consuming project. The fire committee is going to begin reviewing the policies that the fire department is putting together. They had bylaws, they had policies as well. They're going to sort of move away from bylaws and go to a policy system where they can more readily adopt and make changes. So there's much work being done on that among the firefighters. So we'll have more on that, but was 150 pages, so we didn't think we wanted to,
Yeah.
kind of like the personnel handbook
Yeah.
thing. All right, thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
Next up is Kari Clark, Town Clerk and Treasurer.
Hello.
Hi, Kari.
Hi,
Hi.
Kari.
So let's see, I put the last installment for the local option tax money. I put that on each of your desks. That's what Kurt was referring to earlier. Our fourth quarter installment came in at $372,487.43. And that brings our total to $1,590,618.26. And we budgeted this year as an anticipation of 1.3 million. So we came in over anticipation by $290,618.26. So that's what Kurt was referring to. So
Yeah,
that's good
Kurt,
news.
Kurt stole your thunder.
Yeah, I kind
Yeah,
of ruined it
we're
for you.
really sorry, Kari.
No, that's okay. I just wanted it on record. So
Really
that's
good
totally
news.
fine.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I try to bring good news. Let's see. The next thing that I had, our tax installments, we got about 95% of our third installment. And honestly, I know it sounds great, but it's a little on the low side since I've been here.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
we're usually more like 97, 98. So that is questionable as far as like, I'm wondering what's going on. So I guess this is my public service announcement to anybody that's listening after this is recorded. If you have forgotten to pay your third installment taxes, give us a call and we can do some calculations and see what you owe. I know there's several of you out there, so it's kind of unusual. So that was my service announcement. I will be giving Don Chioffi, the delinquent tax collector, a warning. I'm going to say he gets it 15 days after the due date. So that is roughly next week, probably on Tuesday. So it'll then be up to him to collect that amount of money for the town. Let's see. So I gave you the local option. I gave you the taxes. That's really all I had for updates. I know that we had a finance committee and / personnel committee meeting last week. I don't know if you wanted to summarize that, but I know in our agenda, it's going over the audit policy that we talked to Andrew about during our committee meeting. So I don't know if you wanted to do that now or wait, or how you
I
wanted to
think this would
proceed.
be a good time while you're on because you were involved in this. You may recall that we had put a draft, or Bill had found a draft policy for accounting, auditing, and financial reporting. And we kept putting it on the agenda, but with a note that we needed to talk with our auditor basically after tax season was over. Well, tax season is over, and Andrew was able to come in and have a meeting with us and made a couple of suggestions for changes on the policy. One was to add language anticipating that we might need to do single audits from time to time if we have in excess of well, it'll soon be $1 million in federal funding. We had to do one when we got the ARPA funds because we were over the 750 threshold at that time. And there were a couple of other places where we tweak this, but basically what you see is pretty much the template with some changes to make it more significant to us. So Matt, anything you'd like to add to this?
Nope.
Would you like to make a motion?
Adopt the accounting, auditing, and financial reporting policy. as
Second.
Stated.
Okay, motion is made and seconded to adopt the policy. Is there any further discussion or questions about it? If not, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
There is an original in the folder, it's better to use.
This one's pretty, but all right. Okay. And we all
Mary
get to sign.
also, oh, sorry.
No, I'm going to start circulating, so 2 pages.
So also on your table, Mary, Andrew handed me the letter that we sign every year to get the audit started.
Yes.
And since he was with us, he just decided to get that going. And
So actually it's an envelope and quite a packet. It outlines what AM Peisch proposes to do for us. I'm going to skim and find what the cost might be. And this would be, of course, they have to wait until the year concludes and then they start working in the fall, and we get the audit report in late fall and in time to do budgeting. And then, oh, here it is. Our gross fee, including expenses, is estimated to be $19,000. And then there's more explanation, but that's, we have an audit each year. What would you, I mean, you're certainly welcome to read through this and see if you have any questions. There are 2 places to sign, and I never can figure out whether, I think we sign under governance and somebody else signs under management, right?
I checked before I gave that to you, and it looks like last year my signature was the top section and your signature
Okay.
was underneath.
Okay, your management, I'm governance.
Yeah, sounds about right.
All right. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Motion.
And authorize chair to sign.
Oh, okay, thank you. Motion's been made to approve the proposed audit numbers and proposal from AM Peisch, and me to sign. Motion's made and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed?
On your life away, like always.
You know, it makes me feel so uncomfortable, but there you have it. Motion carries 4-0. All right, and I'm going to put this back in the envelope, and Kari, leave it with the orders, bills, and warrants so that you can sign it and get it back to AM Peisch.
Sounds good.
Okay. And we've signed this one. And I'm going to give Bill the accounting, auditing, and financial report policy we just passed, because there is a place for the town treasurer to sign. So he'll have that in the green folder.
Okay.
All right. Anything else from the finance committee meeting? I'm trying to remember. Or
We didn't
anything else
really-
from Kari?
It was more of a discussion in our committee just about many little things.
Yes.
So there wasn't anything really needed to come forth in front of the select board yet. Just kind of some ideas for moving forward into next fiscal year that I had, so.
Yep. Okay. Any questions or comments for Kari? I will say, Kari, I did mention at the open house, we had bond counsel down to tour the facility. I don't think bond counsel usually gets invited to do things like that. But
Oh, wow.
I mentioned Bob Fletcher. Mentioned the work you and he both put into getting our application into the bond bank and what a very good interest rate we got. So thanks to you and Bob for the work you did on the bond application.
Oh, no problem. The building's beautiful.
It is. It is. Okay. If I think that's it. So thank you very much, Kari, and we'll move on to Mike Delehanty. Is he on?
He was coming, he had to for family
Oh.
issues, so
Okay.
no Mike, no Joe, and no JP.
No Joe, no JP. They were all up at the open house. Barbara Pulling, Town Planning Commission Chair.
Yes,
Good
hi,
evening.
good evening, good evening. The Town Planning Commission hasn't looked at the Act 250 permit yet. And we
Yeah.
don't meet until after your next meeting, but it's that same week. Our next meeting is the 29th. So we'll
Okay.
take it up then. And maybe have Mr. Graysick come and speak to us as well.
Good.
Yeah. Let's see, thanks to Bill, I think the city might be on board with that MS4 outreach and education and public participation work. We just need to figure out the costs. I think I mentioned before that my time can be covered by some of my other water quality work at the Regional Planning Commission, but there would be some expenses. Especially if you want to have like displays or, at like the townwide celebration. And
Yes, we do.
okay, okay. I hear you loud and clear. And if we want to do some mailings, I'll work with Andres on getting some numbers. That email from the city just came late this afternoon, I think, Bill, right?
Good.
Yes, it was, yep.
Yeah, so it sounds promising. I need to find out also how many households we're working with in the city in that Moon Brick watershed. So that will be a factor. And, maybe it's not going to be a 50-50 cost split between the town and the city because of that.
Oh, yeah, the city has a lot of residents on that
Well,
Moonbrook watershed. A
yeah,
lot.
yeah, and then
Probably 300-400, I would assume.
Oh, okay.
so we'll have to factor that in. The Pocket Park, the Planning Commission, the Town Planning Commission did come up with phase 1 activities for that.
Good.
And they are clearing brush, thinning trees, removing dead trees. Number 2, removing invasive plants and replacing with native species for birds and wildlife. Number 3, expanding the parking lot on Simons Avenue. Number 4, adding safety alert signs for flooding and combined sewer overflow events. And the last one is removing or covering. There's at least 2 pipe ends that are no longer used that should be covered. And there may be some wiring, some extraneous wiring left on the property too.
Okay.
So that's what we propose for phase 1. We would like to meet with Mike Rowe and Dave Sears, probably waiting until Mike becomes full-time. So starting those meetings in July.
Okay.
On those.
Could you count me in? Could you
Okay.
count me in meetings too, please?
Yeah.
I have some ideas for volunteers who may want to help with that.
Oh,
And
great.
actually, people have approached me on it, so
I've gotten some calls too.
good.
Great. And it'll be in the next circle too, another little request for volunteers.
Good.
And there's one thing the Planning Commission did not talk about. I didn't have it on the list when we met a couple weeks ago, and that concerns the historical and archaeological resources at the site. Mary, I think you were party to some of those meetings where in the relicensing process that Green Mountain Power went through, they committed themselves, and I guess the site, to continue to work with VDHP, which is the Historic Preservation Office for the state, Vermont Division Historic Preservation, the Abenaki Nation, and the Stockbridge Munsee Mohicans. Yeah, there was this commitment to consult with them as the designs for the park were being finalized, so that there would be minimal impacts to cultural resources. And there's another part which wouldn't fall in phase one, but that's where they would also be involved in some of the signage that would go in there, in the messaging, in the signage. So we'll just have to keep that in mind probably before we do any of this work in phase one. Especially, the tree removal and that sort of stuff, that we would need to fold those groups in.
Well, I agree, and we do want to consult with them because they have the historic knowledge. And so do other groups as well, the Crown Point Road Association and others. But as far as clearing and something as simple as clearing invasives, I don't think we need to consult. Maybe some of the tree trimming, probably not so much. I think those folks were involved if we were actually going to be excavating, and I don't hear that anything you're doing in proposing for phase one is excavation. So
yeah, I guess the term that they're concerned about is any ground disturbance. So maybe the parking lot might
to the extent it hasn't been already compromised a whole lot. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I don't really know about, pulling trees out and things like that, whether they would consider that ground disturbance.
I don't think so. I think they mean like digging and agricultural, harrowing and plowing and so on, but
yeah. Okay.
But I certainly want to keep those groups in the loop because we want them for the signage that we eventually come up with to explain the significance of the area. Going back, several thousand years. It's a pretty cool place.
Yeah, it really is. So do you want that to all happen through the Planning Commission, or are we venturing into your rec committee? And
well, let's have that meeting with Mike and with Dave and with me and the Planning Commission.
I want to be included.
Sure.
That's my committee.
And we'll warn it because of the players. We'll have to warn it as a public meeting. And then we can start talking about just getting in there and doing some of the things that we're able to do with volunteers and with the town resources that we have.
Yeah.
Sounds like it needs its own subcommittee.
Very possibly.
Pocket Park Committee.
We might just come up with one. Okay.
Did you just volunteer yourself, Kurt?
I did not know.
He's volunteering me. Yeah.
My plate is quite full at the moment.
And I have to be nice because he just finished doing a lovely job down on my farm. So I'm very grateful.
Yeah, there's a lot more yous out there that need me to show up.
So that's good. I'm glad the Planning Commission came up with that great list. That's kind of what I was hoping they would do. And let's have a meeting among the folks that you mentioned and maybe even come back to the select board with a proposal for a pocket park committee to move this along. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I have this evening.
Okay. I keep asking different groups of people to react to this. You may recall, a meeting or two ago, we got a request from the Rutland Regional Planning Commission to revive the Rutland Airport Committee and to send a person as the town's representative to it. And I'm wondering if, I mean, they've provided the meeting agenda for the first meeting, which will be held on Tuesday, May 27th. There's Airport Committee bylaw approval. Goal 1, link between the airport and the region. Goal 2, legislative priority list and site visit. Number 3, hangar development updates and V-Trans policy meeting. Number 4, other state airport committee coordination. 5, airport updates. So I don't know whether, I mean, I know the planning commission usually puts information concerning the airport in the town plan when you revive it. I'm not sure who we should be looking for to serve as the town's liaison. Kurt advises that the firefighting down there is done by the city of Rutland. And of course, the other services are provided. I think sewer's provided by the city.
Sounds like a great job for a legislator.
A legislator?
Somebody who's interested in regional issues and how the state is involved in those.
Possibly. But we need somebody to do this, I think. I mean, if anyone's interested, if we want to keep a hand in, although I suspect we're fairly minor players because other municipalities have more input.
Do you think the new representative to the Regional Planning Commission Board would be interested? I forget.
Oh,
his
Jim
full-
Marsh?
Yeah, Jim Marsh.
There'll
There'll be some
he's,
tie-ins,
yeah,
between-
because he was, in Killington and, did work at the ski area, and I don't know. We can ask. I'm wondering, is there anyone that you know of on the planning commission the town planning commission, who might be interested?
Not right offhand. No one.
Okay.
Yeah, many of us still work. Not all of us.
Yeah. That's right. This meeting is on a Tuesday at 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always do that with those airport meetings.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. When I have my new lawyer incubator project rounds every Tuesday. So. Okay, well, think about it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Anything further for Barbara? No, if not, thank you very much, Barbara.
Okay. See you later.
Enjoy the
Barb.
evening.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Larry Delvenary was on earlier for the transfer station, but yeah, and he was here for the fire committee meeting as well. All right, Bill Sweet, town administrator. Hi.
All right. Been through most everything, so we're in pretty good shape. We, in addition to needing the airport committee representative, we received a letter, which is in your packet, number 2, from the Rutland Free Library. One of our representatives resigned effective immediately, and they are now seeking a appointment from the town or recommendation from the town for a new appointee.
I do have someone. Now, if you read the rest of the letter, there was a request. We hope you come up with somebody who's a good fundraiser and Yeah, they tend to do this. They tend to tell us what they're looking for and hope we will come up with that perfect person from the town. I tend to say, we're going to send someone that we think would be good, you know, so in this case, and I've sounded out this person, Fern Fryer is involved in or has been involved in adult education quite a bit, Community College of Vermont, and also I think up at Stafford. She is a spouse of Dana Peterson, who's on the Planning Commission. She's very active in Boy Scouts and is assistant troop leader and has been for many years. She had my kids in it. Very interested in education, you know, obviously working both with Scouts and with adult education. And she's interested in serving. So I would propose Fern Fryer.
Second.
Okay, I can't make a motion, so I'll treat
Okay.
that as a motion.
I'll make.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded
Somebody will get it.
to send Fern Fryer's name as our suggestion for the Library Board of Trustees. Any further discussion? Anybody else got any other names?
Do you normally post this one first?
No, because it's really, it's their board and they're required to get input from us, but we don't make the appointment. I think that's the difference.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor of Fern Fryer's name going to the Board of Trustees, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 4-0.
Right.
Okay.
Along, thank you.
Yep.
The last thing in your packet is the reply from VTrans for the Route for Speed study. And they're adding it to their agenda in September of this year. Yep. So they're gonna do a study and then add it to the agenda, but they'll let us know ahead of time. So
yeah,
this is gonna have the same expedient response as the other things we've done with. So it's just gonna take some time, but they're on it.
Okay.
We'll see how that goes.
And Joe is kind of our point person on this.
Joe,
Is
yeah,
there
he does have a copy of that as
Yep.
well. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
And then on your desk, you have a few things. You have a memorandum, which we just got from Andres, and a copy of an email from Velco. We were a bit surprised to get the response from Velco when we went to them for permission to use their right of way for our stormwater project, and they essentially said no. This has not been consistent with what's been done in the past. It does present a bit of a problem for the projects and does kind of throw off our plan. Andres did say, you know, if we have anybody that's available to maybe talk to them, having relationships, that we should try and reach out. But if they don't agree, then we can't move forward with our project. So, yeah.
I know they changed a lot of their grounding requirements over the past year, which is part of the reason why they shut us down.
What do you mean?
So the highline poles emit a certain amount of static electricity.
Mhm.
So they're going around the entire state with meters essentially, and these structures are all emitting too much static electricity. So they're having to run ground wires down the structures and essentially grounding in a web around these structures with multiple ground rods up to 200 feet away, tying it all in order to get that static electricity down. It also covers it some more for lightning strikes and whatnot.
So, I mean, if we don't do these projects, then what are we doing?
Well,
Yeah.
there's some we can run into some compliance issues with our MS4 permits, and that's what he kind of, you know, identifies in here, is that we were moving forward under the assumption this was going to happen, and
Meeting with Andres and somebody from the state perhaps for
Hmm.
them? Or
Yeah.
if there's some alternative, like if we can tweak it in some way.
So he does talk a little about alternatives in here, but I think it probably would be worth, I mean, this just came through yesterday. I mean, it was 4 days for them to say no from the time we sent it to them saying no. So it was quick.
It's like the state's gonna have the most influence here.
Would you like me to invite Andres to a future meeting to talk about the impact and?
Well, it won't, I mean, I think Kurt's pretty much summarized. We can kind of understand, but
Right, I mean,
I think
mainly to
I
address.
think Matt's onto something,
forward.
but we should ask Andres to reach out to the state and see whether they can talk with Velco, because this is pretty important and Velco is all over the place.
They are.
That's a dead end and we need to know what's next.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the state should know anyway, because they need to know we're trying and look at the roadblock we hit.
Yep. Absolutely. Okay, I'll talk to them about that.
Okay.
We received a proposal to purchase some town-owned land. That's included in there also.
Which property is this? They gotta do side.
This is
We were
the
dealing with
24
before.
acres. Usually yes, it
We
is.
have
I'm sorry, not 24. I was wrong.
it's a parcel that's
Mm-hmm.
has no real accessibility. It's behind a parcel on Route 7 North.
In the past, we have done potential land transactions in executive session.
Want to discuss it next meeting with the full board? I mean, we're not a huge rush on this.
Good idea. Is everybody okay with that? Yep.
Or put it out to bid again. Is that what happened last time?
There's a warning that has to go out, a notice that has to go out.
If we are at the point of wanting to accept it, I think we needed that approval.
Did that before.
Yep. Okay, so Bill, if you can put this on the.
Absolutely. There is I'm sorry, was that everything for that? Good. Okay, that'll be on the next agenda. Yep. We have a sewer allocation application from Tractor Supply. They are one of the ones that was non-responsive. They are now set.
pretty,
We're back on board. They've decided to take let's go. They're gonna jump ahead and not have to worry about a little. So I talked to the guy, he's like, yeah. So they're
So
just
we're,
going
we're rounding up here by several flushes a day.
fine, but they're expanding their garden center has been getting busier, so they're planning on using more water. So that's fine.
Yeah.
So we have plenty of allocation available. We did receive the funds. We have the checks for that. So
What's your
There you go.
pleasure?
Move, approve.
Motion's been made to approve the sewer allocation increase for Tractor Supply. Motion's been seconded. Further discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 4-0.
thank you. Take care of that. And then the last thing is on the desk is your scholarship award summary.
All right.
Matt, I gave you copies of the letters there.
Yes.
Saw those over the.
So I'm the only one that has these.
Yes.
Looks fine to me in terms of its.
Move we approve the secrets list,
The award of scholarships too,
scholarships.
right?
secret list.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion without disclosing. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 folks.
Yeah, I have to say, Matt did the bulk of this work because I was too close to, this is kids that are at my house, some of them.
Ah.
So he really did a good job on it, and I agree with everything that he did, but he did do his homework on it, and I appreciated that.
Yeah. Good, thanks. All right, if there's no discussion, all in favor of approving these scholarship recipients, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 4-0. And
So now these, you wanna
I'll,
collect those separate?
yeah, that's fine.
One secret was separate.
Yeah.
so this, Mike Rowe usually likes to know.
Yes, because he uses those
Yes.
kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll take one and give it to Mike. And he's good about that, so.
Right, they'll.
Is there one on? Is there
Oh,
one on
Joey's?
There is one on Joe's desk, yes.
Top secret.
Yep. I did let Rutland High School know that at least one of you would be there. Matt said he was gonna go anyway, so you're welcome to go as well, at least one of you there, so I'd like to be a part of that. I don't know when it is yet, but exactly, but it's gonna come out soon. It's 11th.
Check. I just know my daughter has to be there. playing
What's the
chess
date
game.
of
Uh-huh.
Rutland's?
That's what she didn't say, but
Okay.
I'm assuming it's gonna be next couple weeks, so
Yeah, senior awards night's 11.
it is okay.
So graduation is on the 12th.
Yes, it's also.
That's the graduation night.
Graduation's the 12th, awards night is the 11th.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. The last thing I have is we got from VLCT our grant award letter today. And they are awarding us up to $5,000. So I will work and get as much as we can for that. So they are gonna give us the approval for the highway monitoring system again, but they said okay, but no more. But I gave justification, and there's actual data to show that like they're driving safely and it's doing well. So it was worthwhile. But we are still the only one to have asked for this. But if this shows well and they still shows historical trends of good driving, they may actually open this up for everybody. So it's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
There was one thing we got declined. They declined to fund, so we put in a replacement item. So we got a little more. So I'm going to get as much as I can for this, but we did get the award for that. I've let some of the departments know already, so we can try and get stuff done because we can.
Good. Thanks.
We've been
Thanks for writing that.
That's been a wonderful grant. We have got a lot of stuff for that over the years. So
Good.
very good. That is everything that I have.
Okay, so I was going, anything for Bill while he's sitting? I did left over from a meeting ago. We got Vermont Council on Rural Development, their Community Leadership Summit, which is free. And what day is it? Please reply by June 14th to nominate a local leader. And I've asked if anyone was interested. And you get to go to this Community Leadership Summit on August 11th at Vermont State University in Randolph. Kurt, aren't you a graduate of that institution?
Oh, yes, he
No.
is.
Is.
Yes.
I graduated from Vermont Technical College. All right. I had to go change everything up.
Any interest in that? We still have a little time, but I'm not sensing there's a whole lot of enthusiasm for going, but. No?
Tight on time.
Okay, well, there's your opportunity.
If it was January, maybe, but
Oh,
this time
no.
of year is go time.
No, all right. All right, action items. We've done the scholarships, we've done the grand list extension, we've done the auditing, accounting, and financial policy. The draft alarm ordinance. We should be getting feedback from the police department when we meet with them next week. So that's sort of underway. Any other new items that we haven't talked about?
One new item tonight we haven't talked about. Are you ready for it?
Yes,
Are you?
I don't know.
It's a motion.
Oh, wait. Let me, update on committee meetings. We went through personnel and finance, highway and fire. Update on the select board project list. There it is. Board to meet in executive session. I don't have any reason to. Kurt, what's on your mind?
I think we're probably gonna need a motion to adjourn.
Motion's made
Second.
and seconded.
I
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries, and it's before 8 o'clock. Oh, woo-hoo.
sweet.